Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? It's your boy NoisySauce here, back with another live stream, and today I'm going to be making a Meek Mill type beat from scratch. And if you haven't seen me do this before, this is my template that I start every single beat with, and from here we'll be just making a beat, and by the end of it we'll be we'll be finishing up with a completely done, ready to rap on beat. So if you have any questions or anything like that throughout the process, if you're watching, definitely hit me up on here. And if you are getting to this late in the game, like seeing this after it's a live stream, you can hit me on any of my socials or at noisysauce@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or if you just want to buy the beat. All right, let's get straight into it. So the first thing I want to do is get a really kind of dank piano sound, and for that I'm gonna jump over to my Anna 2 synth, which has been getting a hella workout lately because I just dig it. It's just a really cool synth for like some grimy sounds. So let's get ourselves a nice piano, and I know there's a piano in here. What's it called? It's called Lo-Fi. That's it. I'm looking at strings. Lo-Fi piano. And there's two of them. I'm gonna dig one. I kind of change which one of these I like to use, but one's pretty good. Finding a key that works well. I want something that I can drop down an octave and it's still going to work. And I feel like G sharp there's. That's a pretty cool sound. I'm going to record that. Oh, it's going to be quicker than that. I'm going to go 4. I'm going to change it up a little bit. Alright, so it's got this reverb on here, which is cool, but I'm not digging it that much. So I'm going to get rid of that plate, and I'm going to add my own. Which is just going to be a little bit shorter. Actually, I don't think I even need a reverb on this. It's pretty dank as it is. So we got our change up that reverb. I want something a little bit darker. Right now I'm using chroma reverb, which is my standard reverb for snares or for most drums, but I'm going to go to the lustrous plates here and I'm going to darken this up a bit. Also going to darken that snare sound. Take some of the highs out of it. Now, I really dig this piano, but it's kind of like a little bit static. I want it to have a little bit more movement. And so I think for that, I want to give it some panning. Just trying to think of the best. Actually, I think Mondo Mod by Waves is a good one for this. I'm just going to drop the mix. That's weird. Doesn't really seem to be panning that much, which is weird. I think instead I'm going to have to go with just the standard tremolo from Logic, which there's so much going on hand-wise already that it needs to be quite high to really hear it. Just gonna up the attack a little bit to get rid of some of that. Hit that, like, it's a little bit too percussive. Still got it in there a little bit, not too much though. don't know why that keys doesn't. Oh shit, she too quick. I'm playing 30-second notes here, so I'm just gonna have to change that. Oh, now I'm too quick. Let's fix that. Damn, son. It's too much. Alright, I'll play this better. I know I could just draw this in, but it's the principle. Let's see if that... Yeah, it's better. Alright, snare's got to come down a bit. Alright, so for the 808s, which I definitely want 808s in here, but I want them to be kind of like not so hi-fi sounding, like almost like a bit like a big boomy, like lo-fi-y 808. And to get that sound, I'm going to have a look through what the Anna 2 synth has, which, I mean, it's really cool. It's got some pretty cool sounds with it. But if I can't get it in there, I'm going to try and get some other 808s. Sorry, I'm going to bring this mic down so you guys can hear me a bit better. Humble. Goes for so long. Ooh, E.T.'s pretty good. Gotta come down in volume. See what happens. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have those sitting on the same as the kick drums. I wonder if I move these kicks back, that'll sound better. Try that. Give it. Yeah, I actually like that. I dig it. Way too much attack on this, so I'm just gonna might need a little bit more attack than that. All right. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna So two different versions of the piano, one up an octave, one down an octave. This is kind of quite common in trap music. People just like kind of using the same sound, but just changing it up in which octave it is throughout the song, and it just kind of gives it just gives it movement, really. And when it jumps back up the octave, it kind of gives it a sense of doing something, which is pretty cool. So I'm also going to create a version of the piano which just hits this low note. Yeah, I'm going to need to click for that. And it's only going to go for 4 bars, and I have a feeling this will be a really cool pre-chorus kind of thing. It's going to have the 808 do the same thing. Cymbals playing the exact same thing as they were playing before. Cool. All right. So that is something completely different. I'm going to change the color of that. I changed the colors of the tracks that I changed, the regions that I change up, just so that I know where they're at and what I've done to them. All right, let's darken up that snare a little bit more. You know what? Like, I feel like I want to add more, but I can't think of anything that's going to make this any better. Anything I add is just going to take away from the simplicity of this. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and we'll work on arranging this thing. So I'm going to start off with this lower piano, and I'm only just going to do 4 bars of it and then jump straight into the beat. Oh, really? Am I using external plugins for all my different sounds? I'm using a lot of different plugins. Just before I keep going, I'll show you what I'm doing with all my different sounds, just so you guys get a vibe of where we at. For the drums, I'm using Battery, and this is from Native Instruments. Um, these are samples that I've gotten from various sources. The main ones are from this Crass music pack. That was a really cheap drum sample pack that they sent in, and it's got some really cool shit. Crass, C-R-A-S, if you want to check them out. But yeah, Battery is handling most of my drum work there. In terms of plugins that I'm using within Battery, I'm using stock Logic EQ, and there's a limiter on my hats, and I like to like pull back my hats a little bit with a limiter. That's just like personal preference thing. It's kind of like means they're up front, but doesn't give you that like piercing, like digging into the side of your skull kind of sound. For the 808s, I got this Anna 2 synth, which is a little bit different to what I normally use. This is by Sonic Academy, and it comes free with the Slate bundle. And this is a 808 preset called Humble that I've just manipulated very slightly to give me the vibe. For this piano, actually, I'm also using the Anna 2 synth, and that's got this lo-fi one, and I'm running a tremolo on that, which is just a stock Logic plugin. I normally use a lot more different plugins, but I'm keeping it fairly simple. Do I think Omnisphere is worth buying? By Eli Ravish. That is a good question. As someone who doesn't own Omnisphere, I don't actually know if it's worth buying. The reason I don't have it is because I only have what I bought. And I know that sounds stupid, but like I've bought X amount of plugins, and I don't really feel the need to buy any more right now. I'm not bored of them. I haven't learned everything I can about the plugins that I have. I'm not a big fan of buying stuff for the sake of buying it. I think you can overwhelm yourself quite easily with the amount of plugins that you have. So I try and keep my plugin collection fairly small. Yeah. No, I say that. That's a lie. I don't try and keep my plugin collection fairly small. I have a massive plugin collection, but I'm at a point where I'm happy with everything I've got, and I have a lot of high quality sounds out there, and I haven't like hit a limit where I'm like, damn, I don't think there's any more I can do with this. If you want Omnisphere, if you like the sounds that are from it, I think you should definitely buy it. If you are weighing up the options and you either have enough plugins already and you just want something else, then I mean, maybe just try seeing what you can do with the plugins you have before you jump into buying a new one. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Oh yeah, so I was going to keep arranging this thing. So this is a start. This I feel like would be like a chorus. There's a lot of good free ones out there. Alright, this is where I'm going to jump in my pre-chorus. Oh, and I'm gonna have this this symbol drop out right at the end here, so it'll be like, and then just finish up there, and that'll jump into. Yo, what's up, baby music? We are live. It's that man Richie Rich up in the house. Alright, gonna drop it down to everything except for the hats. So I'm gonna drop the hats out for this next one. Yo, thanks so much, my man. Richie Rich, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Man, I don't I'm sitting just over 3 minutes here. I don't really see the need of pushing this much further. So I'm just gonna run this run it to the end there and finish on this last piano note here. And I think that's it. It's kind of weird, but this is a super simple beat, but I guess like all of the work is coming in that piano that keeps changing up. And because of that, I do want to give that piano just a little bit of extra vibe to it. And I know I took some reverb off it before, but I just want to add a little bit back in, and just kind of give it a little bit of vibe. So I'm just going to run the Abbey Road plates. I'm going to drop the dry wet way down, hit a little bit of pre-delay, and hit that drive up. Just gonna loop this little section here so I can get. I know it's not much, but this is just giving it a little bit of that character that we want. Yeah, it's just a little bit more character in there, just to kind of I don't know, keep it like, although it is a very, very simple beat all around, this is just giving it a little bit more. Just gonna make sure it works on the high ones. Yeah. They're gonna drop it down even more. I like the sound, but it's just too prominent. 10%. Cool. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of master bus processing now. This is... Oh, no shit. I think Logic is... All right. I'm getting into some rants here because you guys keep talking to me. I also use Logic to record, and I've talked about this a few times, but like Logic, I feel like is probably the best value for money DAW out there, except for actually no, I think it's the best DAW out there in my personal opinion for everything. So I feel like Pro Tools is probably the best editing program out there. I feel like Ableton Live is probably the best production, like for doing beats out there. But I don't know what the best for actually recording music is. There's some out there. Probably the best value one out there is Reaper. But I feel like Logic is the best all-rounder. It has the best, it has like the best free sounds available. Well, when I say free, like best sounds that come with it. It has like so much cool shit that comes with it for free, and it just sounds amazing. Like it's so easy to use. They keep giving you updates which don't cost anything. They just give you free updates all the time, which is awesome. Unlike Pro Tools, where you got to pay like, man, for each update of Pro Tools, I paid like, I think it was about $450, and you got nothing. Logic is amazing for recording vocals. I think it's great. I even like GarageBand. Like if I was poor and couldn't do anything, I would still use GarageBand. I mean, you got to buy the Mac to get either of them, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna do some master bus processing, like I said I was gonna do. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna get rid of all the tracks that I'm not using, which is pretty much all of them, considering this is literally just one piano and drums with some 808s, obviously. But this is like one of the simplest beats I think I've ever done. But it sounds good, so I don't really care. All right, let's keep moving on. So this is my EQ that I use to check my overall. Look at that. All right. This is so this is a spectrum analyzer, and this is telling me what's going on in my DAW. Is Pro Tools hard to use? I don't know how to answer that because I grew up on Pro Tools. Pro Tools was my my first DAW that I ever used, and I used it. I say that, but like I studied it at school. I used it professionally. I used it in the studio that I worked in. I pretty much used it all the time up until 2017, when I bought this MacBook. Which I bought because I was moving over to Canada and I wanted to downsize my rig, and I was rocking a tower and all this stuff. So I bought this MacBook, and I thought, oh fuck, I'll give Logic a go because Pro Tools is shithouse. It is so bad for making music. If you want to make music, please do not use Pro Tools. But if you want to record, it's quite good. If you want to mix, it's really good. Editing on it is like, probably editing on Pro Tools is amazing. But when it comes to actually making music, it is shit house. Do not try and make electronic music in Pro Tools. You will give yourself a hernia, guaranteed. Yeah, Pro Tools is shit house for that. But yeah, I made like this. I made the switch over to Logic, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna use Logic to make music, and I'm gonna use Pro Tools to continue recording and editing and mixing and all that kind of stuff. And I even did a thing for a while where I was making a track in Logic, bouncing the stems of that track into Pro Tools. Oh hell yeah, I'd love to come to the US. Where are you from, fam? What state you in, or what city you in? Yeah, and I was doing that. I was going Logic, bounce the stems, going into Pro Tools, and then mixing it in Pro Tools, and blah blah blah. And then I found that was stupid because Logic was amazing as a mixer on its own. So then I just started using it for that, and then I just started recording in Logic, and I started doing all my mixing in Logic. And then Pro Tools, I was like, this is shit. Tools when Logic is so fucking good. So yeah, that is the reasoning behind that. Anyway, I'm gonna keep moving on. Virginia. Sweet home Virginia. Hell yeah. Man, I'd love to. I mean, my goal is to move over to the US. Right now probably isn't the best time to do it, considering I can't get over there in this global pandemic. My housemate right now is actually American, and even she can't go home. So that's it be how it be sometimes. But yeah, I would definitely like to come over and hang out. And I plan to move to New York. Oh. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? I got this printer in my room that is managing to print while standing up. I'm just gonna quickly check something here. Anyway, I'm gonna keep making this beat. So, yes, I do live in Australia. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. So that's like probably the coolest city, if you ask anyone from Melbourne. So this is my spectrum analyzer. This is showing me what's going on frequency wise, and with this beat you can see there's a lot happening up the top here, there's a lot happening down the bottom here, there's a little bit happening in the middle, and that is the way I like it, because this area here is where the vocal is going to sit, and the more space I give that vocal, the better it's going to sit without getting in the way of everything. So that's really cool. Hell yeah. Alright, so I really like that. I think frequency wise this track is hitting quite well. I always like to check that just in case I got something way out going on. Give it a little bit of compression. This kind of also tells me when things are like, so like I can see here the 808s are kind of pumping a little bit hard. And actually the kicks could come up a little bit. And maybe the snare down a little bit. Yo, thanks man. I appreciate that. See that now everything's kind of sitting in a better spot here. Frequency's still looking good. Piano actually might come down a little bit. And this compressor also just adds a little bit of glue to the mix, just kind of pushes it all in the same area. Finally, with the master bus, I got this clipper here, and all this does is just pushes the volume of the whole thing up so you guys can hear it louder. I'm going to put your output down a bit, and then I'm going to pump this up and show you. And all this is doing is just taking off the very tops of the tracks. You know what's funny is there's this 808 here, that high 808 that's it kind of pops off when it hits that higher note there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix that by now. There's several ways we can do this, but I'm gonna do it the easy way because I like things to be quick. I'm gonna double up my 808 track. Bam. On the top 808 track, I'm going to delete everything except for that high note. Where are we at? Sorry, I'm on the top one. I'm going to just delete the high note. Bam, get rid of all those. And on the bottom one, I'm going to delete everything but the high note. So I'm just going to do that. Ah, shit. And then I'm just going to legitimately turn down this second one slightly. And that's just kind of levels it out. And it can come up a little bit, but yeah. That is a super easy way of doing that. I feel like the snare's a little bit loud. Hell yeah. Finally, I'm going to add in some rises up in here. So this is just going to mark the start of each chorus, really. I use these so much, these rises. This is one that I made myself using a clap in a stairwell, which is why I call it the stair clap riser. Actually, it's two claps panned hard left and right and then thrown in reverse, and it gets this sound. A little bit loud, but let's turn that down. Hell yeah. I don't think I do want to add a counter melody. I want to keep this one fairly simple. Oh, that's still a little bit loud. I feel like if I added a counter melody in, I would be impeding on what a rapper would want to do. I try to keep my beats fairly simple because I know that if someone wants to add something else in afterwards, they will do it themselves. If I don't have anything that stands out to me as an idea that would be really beneficial at this point, so I try to keep it fairly simple with my melodies and my arrangement, unless I'm like, this is missing something, then I would add the counter melody in. But I feel like anything I add would detriment what I've got up in here. And if whoever's rapping on this or whoever makes a song out of this later wants to add anything, they can put that in. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. I try to keep things very simple. I always think about how in Roddy Ricch's track "The Box," there's that which, I mean, everybody knows, everybody hears that sound, and they know that it's the box, but that was not in the original beat, which is really really interesting.
Throwing some sauce on that beat.
And the beat tag works well, which is how you know that this beat is fire. Alright, I'm gonna leave that one there. I'm gonna call that a finished beat. I'm gonna play it through start to finish one time for y'all so you can hear it in its entirety, and then I'm gonna call it a day. This was a very quick beat. Normally they don't come this quickly, which, I mean, disclaimer and all that kind of shit, but I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I feel like that happens with some of the best beats. They come very quickly because the idea, like the initial idea, is strong. So
Throwing some sauce on that beat.
just gonna do a little bit of deleting of things there, just so I feel like that'd be a really cool rap break there. Just gonna delete these kicks here. Oh, and these 808s because I want just a little bit of a break there. And I think I'll get rid of the snares as well. Again, just little tiny dropouts there that kind of give this beat some vibe. Yo, what's up, Gold Rifle? You came in right at the end here. I am finishing this up right now. I have to say thanks so much for watching, everyone. That is the end of this beat. I'm going to bounce this out very soon and drop it up to all of my various socials. Yeah, that's the one. Socials, and also up on BeatStars for sale. This is going to be called Lanette, which is my Meek Mill type beat. So if you dig it, if you're vibing, definitely check over and hit it up. It's going to be everywhere. You can buy it. You can check it out. You can do anything you want. I'm gonna finish this. Thanks so much for watching.